Today I'm going to show you the easiest way to make pecan bars. These are so good. Okay, so the original recipe is a Betty Crocker recipe and it calls for a pouch of their cookie mix with other ingredients, but my sister likes to make these and she uses store-bought cookie dough for sugar cookies, so that's what I'm using. This is a 16-ounce or 1 pound package of sugar cookie dough, and I let this kind of not thaw, but it's softened at room temperature because it makes it easier to work with and spread as the bottom layer to these pecan bars. I'm just kind of smashing them, and eventually I'll just use my hands and just kind of spread it evenly on the bottom of this 9 by 13 baking dish that I lined with parchment paper. Okay, in a preheated oven at 350 degrees Fahrenheit, I'm going to bake for about 15 to 18 minutes. In the meantime, let's work on the filling. In a large bowl, I'm going to add 1 cup or 1 packed cup of light brown sugar. Here I'm going to add 2 teaspoons of vanilla extract. I'm going to add 2 large eggs that I brought to room temperature. That just makes things a lot easier when you're mixing. And I am going to whisk this until everything is combined and the mixture is pale in color. Now I'm going to just sift in 2 tablespoons of all-purpose flour with a half teaspoon of baking powder. That goes right in, and I'm just going to shake that in to remove any lumps and just kind of distribute it evenly before mixing into the wet ingredients. Here I'm going to add a half teaspoon of salt and just continue to whisk and combine well. Now I'm going to fold in 1½ cups of chopped pecans. I kind of leave them just in large chunks or halves, but you can chop them up. And like I said, you'll want to fold this in. Okay, so this has baked for 15 to 18 minutes at 350 degrees, and don't turn off the oven because you're going to put it right back in. So what you'll want to do now is right over this baked crust, while it's still hot, you're going to pour over the pecan filling or mixture and just add that right on top of the cookie crust, and you'll want to spread that out as evenly as possible. And lining your baking pan or dish with parchment paper just makes life so easy after you cool it and you're ready to cut and serve. Okay, so spread that out, and it's going right back into a preheated oven at 350 degrees Fahrenheit for an additional 15 to 18 minutes to bake. And here comes the hardest part. Your kitchen is going to smell amazing, just like the holidays. So you'll want to remove this from the oven, and the hardest part is letting it cool and set. 1 hour and 45 minutes to 2 hours to let this set. And try not to touch the top the way my husband just did, because it will kind of get sticky. You gotta let it set. After this has completely cooled and set, it makes it a lot easier to remove from the pan like this, and then you go in and you cut your squares. Cut them as large or as little as you prefer. I actually wasn't paying attention because I was filming this and cutting with one hand. So you'll want to do this as evenly as possible. I believe the original Betty Crocker recipe calls for like 9 rows and then into 4. It just depends on what you want to do. And that's that. The easiest pecan bars that you can make this holiday season. And let me show you what else I've been up to this week. So I'm going to show you how to make a crock pot chicken and stuffing. 6-ounce box of stovetop chicken stuffing mix, 2 chicken breasts that I've thawed. This is about 5 to 6 ounces of just frozen veggies that I thawed, and what I did is just put some in a bowl and set it on the counter. Thawing these first just helps the cook time. 4 tablespoons of unsalted butter is going to go into this, and a can of cream of chicken. It's 10.5 ounces, and seasonings for the chicken. Okay, 2 chicken breasts going into a 4.5 quart slow cooker or crock pot, and just arrange it at the bottom. I'm eyeballing the seasonings. You can season how you like. I'm going in with maybe like a 1/4 teaspoon of celery salt, some poultry seasoning, just going to shake that on the top. I'm also going to add some rubbed sage, and I will be adding some onion powder and a garlic, salt, and pepper blend, just shaking it all on top. This is really a no-fuss dinner that I'm trying to put together. Now I'm going to shake on the stovetop right on top of the chicken, and I'm just going to spread that evenly. And then the can of cream of chicken soup goes right on top of that. And I'm going to gently kind of fold that in with the stuffing, but you keep it on top of the chicken. You can also add a 1/2 cup of low sodium chicken broth or water into the mix, but I think it'll be okay with the natural juices that the chicken breast will yield to moisturize the dry stuffing mix. Now for the veggies, and I'm also going to just add the butter right on top into little pats. I will add a little extra onion powder on top and some of that garlic, salt, and pepper blend. I'm going to cover with a lid, set it to high, and I'm going to let this cook for 3.5 hours, or until the chicken is done and tender, just like this. It smells amazing in here. And let me know in the comment section if you want me to share a very easy, simple, slow cooker crock pot dressing that I make for the holidays using stovetop. It's really good and simple. So I'm going to plate this up, and I like to serve this with a little bit of jellied cranberry sauce. And this is dinner. Easy, no fuss. I didn't have to do anything but put it in a slow cooker. It's so good. So I'm also going to show you what I made this week for slow cooker candied yams. It's a very simple, no fuss way to make candied yams for the holiday. So I have 3 pounds of sweet potatoes. I'm also going to be using some brown sugar, light brown sugar, some ground cinnamon, a pinch of salt, and a little bit of butter, and that's it. Okay, to prep these, I like to cut them into like 1/3 to 1/2 inch rounds. You can cut them into small or medium chunks. Into the slow cooker they go. Now I'm going to mix 1 packed cup of light brown sugar. Here I have 1.5 teaspoons of ground cinnamon. You could add more or less, it's up to you. I'm going to add a pinch of salt, somewhere like 1/8 teaspoon to 1/4 teaspoon, and just mix that together. Mixing the brown sugar and the cinnamon together first evenly distributes the cinnamon. Okay, so I'm just going to shake that on top. And now I'm going to add 2 teaspoons of vanilla extract and 2 tablespoons of butter. Cover with a lid. I'm going to set this to high, and the cook time is going to be somewhere between 3 to 4 hours, or until tender. Okay, halfway through, I'm going to give this a good mix. And remember, little to no liquid went in, but it yielded so much at the bottom, and that's the natural moisture from the sweet potatoes. So this is why you do not need to add any water or liquid to this. Okay, give it a good mix, and then I'm just going to cover it with a lid and let it cook the rest of the way until everything is tender. Here I'm just toasting some chopped pecans, and once the sweet potatoes are done, I'm going to just shake those right on top, and they are ready to serve. This was so simple and easy to make, and it's perfect to be part of your no-fuss Thanksgiving or holiday dinner. Right on top. It smells amazing. So I hope you give all these recipes a try. I hope you like them, and thanks for watching.